I can't stand to come up and follow her. I mean, she's amazing, and Jack is amazing, and the gentleman I'm going to introduce you to is one of the most amazing men I have ever met. I spent 20 years in the modeling industry, and it was very exciting. I met a lot of very cool people and started the careers of wonderful people. But about 2 years ago, I went to the doctor, and the doctor told me that I had very high blood pressure. For those of you that have blood pressure problems, or if you know anyone that has blood pressure problems, my blood pressure was 160 over 100. And they wanted to put me on blood pressure medication. And, you know, I was around young people all the time. I didn't feel old. And when the doctor tells you that you have to go on blood pressure medication, heart medication, you feel old. And it really stings. And I did not want to go on blood pressure medication. You know, it had side effects, and it was going to have to be the rest of my life. And someone introduced me to this amazing food and said, just try eating this first. And I said, what is it? Don't worry about it, just eat it. There's no smell, there's no taste, you only need a little scoop a day. And so I was desperate. And so I did. And this is all that I did. Let me show you. Can somebody hold this for me? Alvin, come here, hold the mic for me, just real quick if you would. All right, this is all it took. This is orange juice, right? And I have a little bag of Mila here. Which one is open? Here we go. All right, take a scoop like this, put it in a glass, pour some orange juice into it. You can use water, yogurt, doesn't matter. There's no taste, there's no smell. Actually, I like apple juice the best. My mother puts it on her ice cream. And this is all I did. Thank you, Al. In 6 weeks, my blood pressure dropped from 160 over 100 to 120 over 80. Normal. I went back to my doctor. The doctor said, what are you doing? I said, I'm eating this. He said, what is it? I said, I don't know. He said, keep eating it. How many of you in this room have been eating Mila for at least 1 month? Let me see your hands. How many of you have an incredible story to tell about what this has done for you in that 1 month? Let me see your hands. Well, we'll have some people come up and tell those stories in a little bit. It's unbelievable. And you see, no one would believe it until they experience it. And so the story Surya told you was true. I met her friend, AG, online, on Facebook, and he was in KL. And he had gout very bad, and he was very heavy. And I mailed him a bag, because we got to be friends on Facebook. And his gout went away. He started to lose a lot of weight. He lost about 12 kilos of weight. You see, this expands 12 to 15 times in your stomach. It's the highest and safest source of omega-3s on Earth. You know how important omega-3s is, right? You know you should eat salmon because it has a lot of omega-3s. This has 8 times more omega-3s than salmon. 8 times more. And omega-3s is a natural anti-inflammatory. And every pain that you have is caused by inflammation. So when you have a lot of anti-inflammation, anti-inflammatory, and it's 100% natural. There's nothing man-made. God made this right out of the earth. It's unbelievable. So I just give it to people. Because no one's going to believe me. I don't try to sell it. I'm not a salesperson. I don't like salespeople. I don't. And how did they get the name Mila? Actually, this came from Singapore. The name came from Singapore. It did. Here's how we got the name. Mila. did that. Did we get that on camera? Okay. I've been waiting for that all week. But I was at lunch today with my Singaporean and KL friends, and my name is Dwight, and Asians have a hard time saying my name, Dwight. So they came up with, well, you know what, we're going to rename you, Do It. And I said, what does that mean? Money. Good. Keep it in. And now we're getting ready to go to Indonesia, and so they said, you know, my name is Dwight Agnor. That's really hard. And so we're going to, in Indonesia, call it Do It Ada. I'm learning. I've had so much fun here. I've never been to Asia before this happened. That's how God works, right? Mysterious ways. Right. I had high blood pressure, now I'm in Asia. And my first day, Karen Yee, where are you? There she is. Stand up, Karen. Let everybody see you. She's so important to me. She's here with her mother and father, and her father's having some miracle things happening with Mila, and he would not eat it at first either, right? But he was just telling me what's going on with him. And anyway, Karen took me to the stalls, you know, the first time, the food court and the Hawker Center. And I had everything, you know, chicken and rice and everything. And I wanted a little sweet, and so I went to the fruit stand, because there's nobody in line for the fruit. And they had some delicious looking things, and I said, "Oh, what is that?" And this dear, sweet Chinese lady said, "It's Jerry." And I'm trying to be very polite. And I said, "Oh, Jerry." And what is this? This is strawberry. Strawberry Jerry. I said, "Oh, strawberry Jerry. And what's the white one?" The coconut Jerry. I'll have some coconut Jerry. So I get it, and I'm walking back to the table, and Karen said, "What did you get?" And I said, "I got coconut Jerry." And she started to laugh and laugh. And I said, "What?" She said, "It's jelly, stupid." I felt really stupid. I'm going to have a great privilege to introduce someone to you. And I'm so delighted you're all here. You know, those of you that have had wonderful experiences like I have already had with Mila, many of you have, and there are some wonderful ladies up here who had amazing things happen to their children. I've had so many stories that have made me want to cry. So many people with gout. You know, there was a gentleman in the back of the room that had gout, and I met him, and I was asking him, "How many people have you told about Mila since your gout went away?" He said, "Chuff." I said, "How many?" "Chuff." And somebody said, he said 12. Oh, Chuff. Okay. Get it now. These are all true stories. You can't make this stuff up. And you know, as I look in this room, there are about 130 people squeezed into this room right now. And 4 months ago, I just started making friends in Asia because of my first friend, AG and KL, on Facebook. I had never been here, did not know anyone here. And just by mailing, and Karen mailed out, I shipped Mila to Karen, and Karen started to mail out for me, because it's cheaper to mail it from here instead of America, these mini bags of Mila. And she would send 2 to each of my friends. I would send her the addresses and pay her for the postage, and she would mail them out. And the miracles started to happen. And let me go back to my story. After my blood pressure thing happened, I was so excited that it was about Christmas time, just about now, 2 years ago, okay? And you have to buy Christmas presents in America for everybody you do business with, and if you buy a gift less than $50, you're cheap, see? So that's the cutoff point, that's acceptable, a $50 gift. And a month worth of Mila was just about $50. And so I bought 100 bags, and I sent them to everyone. And with a little note that this is what it did for me, please eat this. And I sent it to all of my models, who, as you can see, are the most beautiful women and men in the world. And some agents that I work with who are older, like me. And about 2 or 3 weeks later, my phone started to ring and ring and ring. Models were calling saying, you know, that their hair was growing more full and more beautiful, which matters to them a lot. Their skin was completely perfect, their constipation, depression, all of these kinds of things. And, you know, this was all new. I mean, Mila is new. And it's a great story that I'm going to have someone share with you. But I had never heard anything like this. I knew what it did to me. And then I started hearing these models calling me, and then my agent friends started to call me and tell me stories about things like migraine headaches, no more. How many of you in this room have had migraine headaches and started eating Mila and no more migraine headaches? I'm sure some of you, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I started getting calls about that. And arthritis. How many of you had arthritis pain and before you started eating Mila? 1, 2, 3. Okay. I started getting calls like this from so many people, and it was just unbelievable. And so I made this website. Who has one of those cards? Did anybody get one of those cards they handed out on the way in? Here, no, the big, yeah, hold that up there. And that's a website that I made because I know a lot of very famous people, and I had given it to all of these people, right, for Christmas. And all of these people who were famous football players and famous doctors and stuff in America that were my friends, they started telling me these stories, and I said, I need to make a website because people won't believe me, but they will believe you.